Yo, Chief, good evening. Welcome to Positive Africa. Chacha munyina. And a topic back on na ya juma. Very, very, very important topic. Very important. Very, very, very important. I'd say the American and a topic be how to beat the system and build wealth in Ghana. How to beat the system and build wealth in Ghana. In say every third week of the month biano yene yenya ya papa the legend Mr. Kwabna Obendakon and a honjuma every Saturday bia your friends a Monday evening bia de me offer say can come the yawa ayeso yabo financial and papa na your friend third week no na Mr. Obenya kan ho na ya justice to the other things tin and then e be hwe ho aka ho asem can come Michelle.
Of a baby, I salute legend. Michelle.
Legend, so Michelle now. Ghana for who to say?
You're here,
sir, we are you. $1 say,
dollar no go for.
And we are say, who he has was here to know. They are doing away. We are said, who he has was here to know. As I said, I'm more high. We are high.
Yeah, no, anybody will bring us Garmon. If you got any,
we'll be the kind of say, or Buancro be bree, and $1 no cost will me more. And I'm also Nippana Obom no more saying, was over 1,000 in over 30 something million. I want you. Welcome everyone. And a very important topic na perception e ka ho asem. Yo, yamras near how to beat the system and build wealth in Ghana. How to beat the system and build wealth in Ghana. Mr. Obeng.
Yes, sir.
Yenim crying him say you're preaching, what you are doing have changed so many minds. Eti nese say you be here unim die wo hapa na watimi di aboa na yatisa we ase na de ba kwa de bia me hu pa say which is very true and also very important. They say you always talk about systems, right? And then part of so build the bibia systems now build and so changes so you let the old system go, then you build a new one. You team fight the new old system with the new one. You let it be absolute, then you will build it. Did that mean say every system that you are bringing in, no? It changes minds. It changes so many things. In Kofobi Brady, I don't see you so many things. I also mean crown me every Wednesday be a minute. San Kofoya would change be minds. It be breakasa. A shenya koswa. Ayampa. Now the other can say, Nipa be brave so and kuye. Yasha old system na amafo use no enye bibibia na eboa nti e best start here say a system ben na ewo ho a na emoa yan sa na e behwe the system e betimi aboa yen nti say no yen hwe the system ben na ewo ho a na minka kakra me de minim kakra de me de me can say we've ready to get out yeah the system na minim say go to school in Ghana when you are done out.
Okay.
That is them na be minim.
Yeah.
And yes, as well, you go to school, go look for a job. When you don't get it, sit there and wait. But then you always see engineer the motor system as then you see et system as system ben MY BCC ya kakra wo dia ba watching na man man kofo change no start my
Of me that's it. Chair was your force. Can come with chair professor.
He did you a chinga legend.
And then you are quite more yes. But actually, complex topics I'm treating. Perform bass will be a better video dance. Edamasi, no question say this is part of the system. The system or the education system. We say the formal education system you know any money say oko there be a meme mame wumi e kaju ofia e do ko ya se ko kabrofo Aku is a girl. She is a girl. She says I'm a girl. School, I was here more education. But then I was education, then I'll be to so that education is a system. And that system, my then you not just who say, decided for baby, no one any heavy. It's not because, no, our brains, I know, but it's the conditioning. It's the conditioning. So that's the system. Now, the more training than say so, that's another system base. Oh, a branch a bit to make a choice to say, I'm an MP. A boldly, we're very proud, so we're an MP, or no fried rice, or caboboya. DNA, what is the difference? It's the information. And so the old system, which the base was the education, the kind of information I want. Remember, who say, you had no intimate. Na obi a oye bia no so obi boa, you know, and Tiana say we are copper aban adwuma biye. So na adwuma no mu na so be director bia na just say why. That system e ma o twen say service nyame e wo mu a na obedi. Ya minimum a uniye. Ya se matter fa wo ko enkura se ne ye kuro bebre mu a osikani bia o ho bia no ye be pekwan bia ka kire say oji sikadro na ne mabi kura ntimi nwen ye omo ne manyina aboboda so wo cast but time bia na fi bia na ka ba ko ebofom na wodi nipa no moja no e de akotwa so that's also a system. And the other system is yes party ni bia free so obi aba ne di say o mo ba na say wa be DC you know we so I think the whole system is still in place to a very large extent, and no they produce more or more frustrated with you know, and even more control is the same thing. They think in the old system, and that old system no now we say trouble because really somebody would have to come and solve it for you. You don't have that confidence. I mean, I was saying it to me. You know, and even when you look around you, you don't even think there is any opportunity around you. So and normally baby a big crowd person start a business yes a compare was here be the first chance here. Microfinance 5% a month to go to acquire and work and I person your business could government contract cheap to get to be get fund project bon se minimum kokofo bi tambia okuta portfolio e people bia chase contract still abrabado koso
start chase no o chase say we di be say
so because you didn't very far so I think that is the system. Go to university, when you finish wait for somebody to give you a job, go school no make sure you do a better course, what we call better course. Now we will be babe for it, man. And so, I mean, those are the things that we grew up with, actually.
Good. So that's the old system, no? It's it's say new school crown now they will start a bra na kope contract be and I say business no kopiska never koye business. These are the old system. School so near bekwa if we are entina ho ne ma ejuma another system. Another one so say train contract. So these are few. There are a lot of them. They say they all cannot. And ya dream na so old system ya dream now was especially school free. Ya dream now was say yeah then. E be we school no na say ya dream see be free krono. Those are also system condition away because so kwa any school they be a bruchasma yankee asema na neka. You know, make time maybe a trip now for ace 170 D street here. My vacation I'm for Koba 170 maybe that 170 D street passing no music when you New York. Hey, I won't go New York no matter. Idea D street 176 street. I draw me 176 street penny. Hey, yo. Ya boy ni kakra. You remember the old one. If I say me offer kasa kakra, but before say because you be kasa no. Obema bibi kakra nsa na wakasa na asese na mpesa amanfo ba kakra ya na sometimes ikoja omo and I say ebi eni ho a so obo bibi kakra bi ansa na yakwa
Oh yeah, something very short. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Fabef. Yeah, we
Sure.
a new one. I'm reading and me taking me excepts net free. Book be a me saka. My training for bear 1 year and I'm in Saka. So in African history, no, yɛn nyinaa yɛnim sɛ obi aka kyerɛ sɛ yɛnyame a yɛsom no koraa ne nyɛ dɛn ɛnyɛ. All these things were just intentional plans for you to look inferior to yourself. Yeah, ABI, you ready much about African history and as a world history, You say Obitina and friend Pope Nicholas V. So between the year 1451, 1452, or throw article be and as or throw paper be and a letter be sent will be become Edema King Afonso of Portugal. Now the length and breadth of the letter na ne say o man ho kwan say sebi ohun before so mo ye sebi yeah just say mo bi nipa bi a ye hu ni mfa so bi nti ombra wa man ho kwan so me fa yen say nko. So I'm just going to read a part of it not and you'll say to invade, search out, capture, vanquish and subdue all Saracens and pagans who whatsoever, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery. I haven't seen it here, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery, and to apply and appropriate to yourself and successors their kingdoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, and to convert them to your personal use and profit. This is about 570 years ago. So I'll let you. But you could see that system you could see that it's a system that has been sold to people, and then and no imagine till now they came in the form that they were coming to save the people. So they were coming to save the people. But if you look at this, it was nothing to do with salvation. It was just an intentional effort to what? To amass wealth for themselves. It was just an economic invasion to Africa in order to use the resources of Africa to enrich themselves. And that is why when you look at South Africa, Ghana, and all the mining countries, to gold now. Okay, baby, this is a British Gold Museum. Gold send to but then museum they have like the largest collection of gold than any other African country. And this letter is just one of the effects of it. Or say, take their possessions, convert them to your personal use. The original letter was written in Latin, where they converted one into English. And then he stated in there that use them as slaves. Now, again, this is somebody who is telling you that love your neighbor as yourself. This is again somebody who is telling you that you were created in the image of God after his own likeness. And it is then it means that it is about time that we even look into the religion that we follow. Number one, whether I Muslim is one, I say Christosum, we need to look into it. People don't even know that even the trans-Saharan slave trade, which even took a lot of people by captivity, was even more brutal than transatlantic. Just that the transatlantic slave trade, it was more of nipa we but ye can ye shem the trans-Saharan slave trade, which was led by the Arab regime, a nipa but Canadian is about Pope Nicholas V, let our trauma King Afonso of Portugal to see Africans as slaves, to see Africans as incrophobia sebi or my moi. Now obet media yo ni peso oye de oye bia book ne title Rebirthing the African Consciousness. Rebirthing the African Consciousness, written by Tamunukoro Ayo Obiaton Bara. Nidini Nigeria dintibia min pronouncing ye Tamunukoro Ayo Obiaton Bara. Rebirthing the African Consciousness. Uridia, it will challenge even the religion that you think you believe. We are not disputing anybody's religion, but I'm telling you that our grandfathers understood God and they were more human than any other race that you can ever think of.
Thank you, Kwesi. That's it. Yechia will be once again. Yechia will be your friend Saint Joe. Not a cousin Budi Nebesa Kelly. Your friend say Ima Kusa. Ubia Yechia Munina. Welcome. What's it called?
All right, Legend. Thank you again, Legend. Yaka system no wasem system ni die but from letter no sa pope we troye no ene nia wo nso aka no I've come to realize that when you take any system, all the components of the system are never independent of each other. And TCFA, NIPA, circulatory, respiratory, digestive system, they may seem say individual components, but the way my blood flows no affects the way my respiration is and the way my lungs will function. And into your system na then osha you bet me you be break your free sa old system. And that's a new system there, then a back boom. Because you realize that for every system, they may seem to be individual components, but in actual fact, these components are never independent of each other. Until you check Ghana, now see a old system there, compare new system there, per se build now. What will be the binding factor bit me a kind boom? Because we know let any community now boom, among the boom can fire so fire and qua. That was a system that they created.
Fantastic. Because I will basically religion and talk about business. Because you go for no, said the air thing. At the same time, you perceive Africa the but a normal was here and Sakan almost my cat. And they still hope South Africa to be okay. It's a system. It came. It's composite. Religion was part of it. The education they brought is part of it. Democracy is part of it. Their dollar is part of it. Their entertainment, their sports, their laws, they work together. Into baby, I was here and a son of man, I can't boom and I do some. But I can't be seeing religion in free. Nejai, can't be I can. Because it's the young quachly. History no yanum crofon be brainimo, which are professors, doctors, managing directors. I tell you, can go for being more history bar a young crofon more. And just about funimo, but more problems no more. Any problems there, one. See, and yes, history way more near and situate the core of our challenges are in over that. And many times we share very prominent people. We know more kasa but yeah. And you see blame more brofosa, yeah, correct, yeah, papa, and also education it was neat. It was all kind of this baby. Religion, the ammonium free and come home. Won't mean solve our problem in our new religion free. Pope Nicholas the Fifth, our king. Sabe, it's a religious institution. Some Roman and so. Woman and mass are letter no sento. Some call number form. And so be a one name way no. Walk out because a man come from. What can be a banner, it be a national. Na duabana e de share form na ma aduane nyini yeso ye ne de osema nka ho asem. It is a fruit no and as a duabana yeso no enya anya hwe ye nkotete mfiri ho foforo besa ba. The same fruit na as enya no an besa so because duana nkasa me hini ne nye. It is yanko ho a ene me usua de a otimi say before ye problems in fire by ni. So the systems are also say ye de no hwe na say ye pese ye develop there ye pese nkofo nya kokudro no mo tran man mu ye pese nkofo di ya o se hwe sa no ma we mu nyina ne ye hwe de betimi de ensaka de ye ntimi mfa ye nsaka de abu ha o se ye totwene kora wo so bi o se ye reparation kakra but ye ntimi nka say we just hope say that bia no ye man no be ye na South Africa be ye. Yes, by luck, and as will be also can send be just in his own time, things, everything will no. One someone there or chance time itself will not necessarily bring change. Ye didn't punk as so ye day. Yes, see, I never checked that this year. And make us say, sound of money, say so. Say so, book your okay, madam for no, Obi. Madam for no friend behind you, I mean, share that you didn't come several times. Very intelligent man. Sabe, o Christo ni bifa the book no one kind. The crowd catch on one kind that. Your intellectuals be very selective. Until some no want me who ye. Until the mechanism see a per se cordia. Sa systems net ye be drew ham. In Suani ye. And nuntin a sabe, a man tell me braces in. One what tis a no second because she has had the way. Usually we are both and started selling the aka now. It's about open away. Yanka could grow who said. Yanka no credit who said, Yakasa for history. or started all kind of community and Sarobos and Wardo. After Obos and I could do free mover. No way free mover, no way free mover. After will be cracks first by when any difference I won't come out. Or nado, and then who can visit a crowd or difference I don't know or Jane Gentia, and no one will be started Sunny. On trip. The majority touch it is out of manner. And you probably be your family.
So you can attack religion, but the can say, I will see you soon. And you say, it's not far. Or see, you're broadening your knowledge. You know, you should every day. Govoro, or more planning you, or more planning plan or more. Now, share the same thing or more. The same thing or more. It is opposite to just I was also planning. I was to me changing Yama. Hey, and I said, be cautious. That's the one come once and not to be in change that. Also to be take action. Okay, talk, no action at the eternity. Yo, yeah, share the next one. The next one, made me feel say a pan says, say, you heard the old system. What you much in your so say, a dini bit me a year when free systems no mamma yet me a boy. Say no, a bed yet maybe T system.
Of a very individually, a bit my honor man. I'm going to say individuals no granny, I'm a dorsua, and got that force no. Afterwards, a sour, the Omuja, and a bit my shaki. Or Burkina Faso, or Kaza, and ya the Bacono Oka. Now, I'm going to say first president Zuhun, the same thing. Thank you for Muhunu. Our Mutu Hana Mono also. Umama Canada no ye debate. Okay, the First World War, or a European war, and yet the World War, European War. 1914 to 25 thereabout. And then the second one, 38, 35 to 45. Never time almost started, so almost share the economic system I put TCC. A year IMF, World Bank, America crowd influence a power. They started just around that time. 45, 48. And this is just about 10 years before say Ghana now, you say the first African and independence, African country independence. 10 years before that. A lot of normal people who say, say internet, say technology, electronics, this global financial infrastructure or architecture, a major part of it is just about 70 years. Sa dollar ya sebe el cost roba from 1900 na dollar Ghana had na dollar biwe. Na ye compare dollar rate to cedi. Na cedi do kura no we. And him for na kwotena ase. E ka say gold kura ni se use bi me enko use obi dollar. E ma chire kura nko for no dollar na o mo ankasa yi di na o mo di gold na ata chire no. O chire kura wa say ye free ho. I so the $200 na chi nye do gold. So can't say when I saw you also baby cool no I don't know. What there was a kind of dollar now we the time for. Time they see they just about 1950 year. And a bar basis salary. Now one is a understanding of such systems, especially the economic system. The policies and go for your action. So on the I will be DH Tem be out the upper fire independence 1957 to 1967. That is maybe the time Anam Kroma was so. From 67 to 77, what the upper recruits they see here. The run is about 1979. Can you then and I see a tape. Now, upper 67 to 77. Economic systems been an issue. Some comfort no mudi anymore. So a military officer because of much of it from 1967 to 1977. That 20 years, It was 67 years, 77. That 10 years, But all part of nipa be be Ghana so from prime ministers and I say military coup. Economic systems been no motiasi. And if I don't know J. Rawlings himself specific training ben systems ben what me build ya na timi ni abrofo no ko go free hoy was from 77 to 87 ni nyana je run so let's say 79 to let's say 89 also yeah just about and 2000 me what no me sad be ato so na me pesa me fa 10 years
how can the military time no
yeah up to Asana was ambe democracy Ghana yeah came so the uhwe ba rare stability here ka se nkofo bi the leadership pa na etoto no magu akwan e ka se man we there o tim say omo de adwen pa gu fo mo hyehyem nyame na meka o ye nyina ye no time ben pa na mo dey say bi kura wo ho a e how long military for the no more your normal but democracy for you democracy no practice you and practicing democracy and developing intentionally they are not the same. Focus on development itself they are not the same. And sabe abrofo de no ma bi on say ya na ye say oh independence ne ba and dey dey ho oboboa ne ho economic structure so mudi gu akwa mu nyina kire say omonko and until 2025 oh the dollar na a DNT and obeti me krom no say one dollar no say wiase nyina di na ye kura de wono no kura de on pese no ma be koso sa and is a oba ka say o ye little mistake ono ya hin kanono o ye little mistake bi bia beto go fidie no onti me yesu ye yesu fidie no ma nti banners won't pay attention na mo de discussion we kura na say aye koso yi mate se grofo se onye Ghana mnyem panyimfo bia na aye bibia global something aye we because they kura de nyaza na yeni bio ko ye kura yese nya
ya so ya kura so ne besaka
that's right even if you say akura and for how long may be sustain I'm saying I say one day kura say
yeah.
So, if you look at the system itself, some more ye kura no the system that before you create no enye ni create mama nkase ni create enye ni create the system na before you create no itself will counteract your progress. And it was overcome na political discussion, social commentators to one more discuss it. I'm not sure such China was a problem no. So omo me koso no bia bejuna ka say na we dey need so koso no discussing TV show hundreds of radio stations and no dey discuss here. And so no maybe how dey jai whether the economic structure, the education system, the governance system itself, entertainment, sports, everything. And yeah juma se be deep progress beba. Na see who progress kura na we still not confident say it's sustained and I say sustainable. And to say yeah transit part share your normal men nimdia ne ntetia na ebitim dia hyehyɛ do because of our own over be you know for mo ya krache for o mo didi institution ni mo di edin koma I don't think so bit my time when I say I'm confident say go for him your moka
baby
no the bronu kanwa na also mo di akire so mo anka say bit ma ka say no ade we nya adwuma yentwem o kasa wo say even eni ntina hwa no mabo institution ni din ye mu kura say de ye ne ye mpese mu say na mo anka sa so mo de we e na mo timi de ato anka say mo eni so mo ka obi eni so obi confirm ana so obi sanction say mo de mo ye ansa na mo age atum me sure say mo ko bo am we mo nte say obi be gira TV so aka say nkofo ye age atum te ye de ye o mo kasa mo ho so this is what we have sat down to structure. And this is where we are going. Yeah. Womo kasa ko si akira this obo broni din. This obo IMF din. This obo World Bank din. This obo America din. UK embassy. This obo China din. Womo ankasa timi mo anya gugro kasa no, yes so ye de to oni. Unte. Until me bisa me say so do we really have a system that we have designed? that is working for development. Make us say that.
Wow. Wow. Once again, it's your beer. Dear, okay, we make us say, why is it that Ubi a go through our system now or create any na? Then the panban or be head of state, president, whatever it is. No, because the mean system will be name me use me am system also me free ho. Because next that means someone we are aware say, sir, if you didn't almost me that system you had be juma. They are happy see a system sir because see a babaka. Hwe omo try so mu ye bibi na utim say it said na woka say be out we the leadership omo try so mu ye ni omo reverse even though they went through the same process I be na ya go through than other but omo change say there be or see I go your own way they are no more omo you free that means they are happy say e be use omo system na enya adwuma no and now who can go for the also on TS to see you be a say you win to change and for win corner. Anyway, to no.
Yeah.
No.
It's Eddie. What to ho? What to move on Rantan or Maba when you know movie school, no money GD or have you. Sabe so dream park where cheaper and for the better mine. You know the same Rantan Maba where we more cock button how. We be graduate also pay you money abesisa home. No, as I can't say to man. Now you didn't pay the teacher man I said for the teacher. So the best of your brains, you're putting them out. Munko school, how mungo mama scholarship. Yeah, munko mama makra montrem. And meet my country say whether it's political leadership or religious leadership or cultural leadership, whichever it is, academia. I can tell you, say, Omodo do no only problems and grano in your free house, in free go. Only problem. So more problem come as
Listen, keep preach against that, say, Mamon ko yantna.
Yeah.
But how many times lead the be say?
As a matter of fact, fans. Yeah, I got the friend.
Boga
Boga about school Harvard, yeah. When I the minister and the more. You try what's your system when you're position. You are translated in Zaka Bibias, baby.
Yes, I did about okay. I did about crowd can say. The Ben ye the ABG BBI to say because said you can. May yes, you say UK 41 but say African Union say your friend saying. Your friend United Kingdom economy, I see that. I did about comedy, he cry say, almost Africans we live on $2 a day. Maybe I may come to Coco saying because they are different. It had an sad enough to say, San Yamano, my year, they are to home, Eddie will say a fire.
Yeah,
it's your Anuntino near Jatum see here for because you see, we live on $2 a day. Yeah, for baby, say some of our fire home say no cry. Say size of our economy no can say no cry. Economy means already that. Can be omutim because a Ghana economy and African economy I recover so much because more and moja. The rest size of the economy, some institutions were in Canada. If you also
economics now, you don't have to institution. I don't know. The Anglophone Becca be awesome. Wakasakra omuno kotu omu ye dowo mu broso mi wa zo omuno omu ka bibia na so be kotu a ye se bone ansa no makotu mu e papa wo mfa nyansa ne mamo da ene nko be ko China kora kotu omu so wo kan omu buku bi ne ye nyansa se wakaje say there was an African who said it. They will never say that.
Where you Yakoba kozi so football here boy say commentators no more describe quite a year quite strikers that so brilliant exquisite no describe Africa so powerful so strong
and is when you have to pay
who there is always skill no be so there is a whole party
that's right now sir
you shade wa to say you say leadership yi ano ede enya de de ekọ baabia amafo try omo try but so de me kakra so amesu minim need kakra me hune sometimes leaders ni bi omo try ya yeyire omo nsa bebre ya yeyire omo pa sometimes no with this institution I am funu nsa anema ni nyina ya omo yeyire omo etu because sometimes omo sign contract bi a won tie ase ba na ya omo yeyire omo wa akiri pa I also go with that. To say individually, I quite say, each one for himself right now. Nneɛma me take kakra nye kakra bebree ɛkyerɛ sɛ systems yi a woso bi egu akwan mu a woyɛ ɛboa wo a wo start sɛ wo ka ho asɛm amanfo asum a sɛ ni nkora no bebree young guys ɛnyɛ nkora mpanyifo especially ɔmo a no mo wɔ abrokyire ni ade te sɛ deɛ me nua kusi adwane agya me ɔmo tia na amanfo firi hɔ ba te sɛ yɛ apia ɔhwɛ saa de wɔ sida bi ɔmo nyina so mbae so mabɛyɛ enti system no break bi down my ɛdeɛ na sɛ yɛbɛtumi ayɛ
okay
me de mimi nim hwɛ kura sɛ me de minim sɛ adeɛ mimi change my adwene fa saa nneɛma no ho kra because it do point na me say me kra de nka me kra me ha me ho kra fa be business bi organ me really your friend is saying African advantage it change me saa nneɛma no nyinaa eti fa bi gu akwan mu mai because ni bebre hɔ no a ɔmo ntia sɛ sɛ deɛ na ɛkɔ so a still na amanfoɔ kora episode mu bɛtiw deɛ nti na ɛma saa because adansedie wɔ hɔ
ɔbɛbi ɛnɛ aberante baako sɛ ne mɛsɛ mede to Facebook koraa brɛfo na ɔyɛ teacher ɔkɔ tech na agya adwuma yɛ na ɔkɔkyerɛ adeɛ na last year yɛyɛ making seminar na ɔbaeɛ wɔte hɔ saa no na adwene no ɛbaa no hɔ sɛ okay so ɔyɛ teacher wɔsi dɛn watɔka nti na ɔdwene sɛ ɔde wawie after seminar no ɔkɔɛ na ɔkɔtɔn ne car
kɔtɔn ne car no
o import car sesei and there was me na me ordinary teacher nka the best sika nka me hu yɛ 30,000 and there were multiples of that or international business or the cars back containers ɛdeɛ na ɔte saa seminar no normal na yɛ kan nyina na yɛ part of the systems. One, your identity as an African, your history. Saa normal no ntro na ɔmɔtwa yɛ no saa information no correct saa ntro no nti o hyɛ ase sɛ wo differently and the moment a nipa bɛ start sɛ wo hu differently obenya ne mu akukuduro ɛno ano no nti that is a major part of the system. So we've been educated not to believe in ourselves, not to trust ourselves, not to speak well of us as individuals and as a group, and even as a country or as a continent. The system so that we will grow up against ourselves. It's not by chance though. Say yenye huni asema papa biesi abo sani e doubt ni e fight no nkunim sem bia na sem papa bia pie wo happy be 99% of us go say can be born here dey fa baby aye bo modern kura no still ye doubt you. And so this part where you study your history, your identity, your dignity is the foundation. So when you know bibi ere betim dia ka ho bi enti abrante no te and then no afi etimi ma onya o se wiase so be ye na so if you're very much paranoid and pessimistic ede and negative so person ye pa ye dia wa wo chichire we are so much negative wa hu ade papa bia o bibi emu a den so betim de ye wa brabo yi because then you will not even try was have a fear no be chichire. Those who are optimistic, that's why entrepreneurs are daring. They have high level of self-confidence. When him so kwa obeye. Sa agen such na onipa ni benyano. It is part of the system. To those who be a or say me wa broche na maba. Na me buy any so ekoye bia no sa information. The only information of if you ye or hakra still on pay. Go program and know said that and he said the oye bia oni so. Anything I've said, I buy no bit the contract. Friend say gold ni nyina come for na ha no kra. Nkwara de bi kotu a wo say there be mamuntum stop wo. But what the consignment am wo omotu. Yes, one the obema ye adwuma because we've been systematically trained not to work for ourselves. And only interaction and just before so possible ni ba na ne kabom. One that this answer no self doubt no beto yetri. Into obi a wo ben broni bia no wonyi bibinini. It's as simple as that. Obi a hu na ne normal tise broni bia no he has a lot of questions on us. So the upper every chamoy. Ghana ni bia wa yin so on the way clean wo ban brofo bo se mukura wo ma wo tia brofo won mumu ba kokura. But one ankasa ko gidi so one kan ho ni tri e bia na skin na tise ye but one ankasa de ntim no odwe so no.
That's true.
Why? Because only identity. Until the moment I obey identity, no, that's it. It's a major part of the system. Obviously, so person no muma go to where they train their children and change one they train them with. Go to the education. It's just a matter of time. 10, 20 years. So that is a major part of the system. And the Kasi and farm mount officially. Formally in training and say it's not part of it. Information about many bruni diakono ni ho enye national anthem. Information enye national anthem. Enye me ko emina no. Enye sama me sad one kiti no. Ma me na wo sakete na ngasa wo yusu. Wo yusu o de visa to se sia want na ha obeko. Kwa bro chire ba fe so se no well ye me ba ye de me fra America ne ba ye American tina me ba ye ye.
All right.
Because programming we've been conditioned to work on their plantation. It's a programming. Totally. So but still programming on information be a bit mama sorry said there be no man koye until some come BCDNC. After Bible num abranti era okofa ne papa japade a okoya amfa yi no. Na dwen ye dey. E ba no. O si there be am free no nye say that ye mentimi ne mprako ni di. Ye krom ha. Woni mprako di kra wa brochira wo say yes ne krom.
So mo kan de bia. Obitimi ka say. Woni mprako di na ka obitimi ka say me kwa kokra say me kunu ma wu an ye me citizen amepe.
That's right. So the programming is part of the system that is enslaved us. And it's over to me, Sabi, over to my traha or so some information. And Tabini Obi Bukuno. Rebirth or rebirthing the African
consciousness.
And no, and a bit to me, I'm what to me after Bruni and Makaja Masas and Munaka. I won't blink it, unslo. Which my catch is a contract and make them person with Yamonia. I could look. And it's all sad enough, you bit me the other ones night. I can't. So, minimum there over any of the be say way. And the boss of us when I had on baby giants and Yammy Yama on Yamon Pie and a religion, they have why a missionary school say they be an education, the education. Education, we are enemy of honor. Question the kind of education they brought. Don't tell us, oh, the bastard for the Catholic for this education by now. Put said the same level of ignorance of Africans. A higher level of ignorance is among their children also. They told them some boy. I can tell you so over 80-90% of them believe that don't be any correct.
Yeah, that's almost some baby any. It's don't be and that's a kakrebu, kakrebu. Yeah, that's a when you found dear. I can't
believe but no say I would disem a papa no also because only history no. A catching us by any way. Na Ghana Empire na running over 1,000 years. Me only Kush Empire, Moshi. We just something don't know me. Bono. Opa say Benin Kingdom me. And who now buy and I bet say secret. And to much our microphone so much in trust. The politicians, no senators, no lawyers, professors, I can say errors when you know mutrimo. Just as yes, the same thing with him. The only thing is that more errors no more creating my microphone. I'm more feeling so much superior. And at the same errors no more creating my no. I'm more feeling say inferior. But it's the same miseducation. The same miseducation. And this African and forget it. So there is a major part of the system, the education, the re-education of yourself. To find yourself. It's a journey. But it's not complex. With my find. Seminar. What struck me? Tell me any kill. And I said,
yeah, there was.
Yes. And that was so clear. Said Nipa no crane say camera phone you drink double.
Yeah.
Inti yen kasakra yen fire come and kasa.
A lot of people enter me with that question. Enter me about to introduce.
And these are not illiterate. These are educated people.
Yeah.
And for your information, almost say program we will say a bro for county, I will say pet.
Your lowest turnout seminar, the shortest.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. One, because, in fact, Obi or Nigeria no on TP and no problem. We can consider that. International say the base, and it's a the continent, or maybe the diaspora. Now the free Ghana there, Maza, so you could say, so you ibeni, may catch it or say, peak a crowd out, and the more transformation the basin is Sabro food in our can. I'm telling you, because examples are the baby, and if you coach him, I said, you are how can. Who said, if you could make us up, me creative people between my send them an day. Usually, Brofuna make us and uses our Brofuna base.
Yeah.
So the memory is even short. And so much me a Bomodian culture say, you free people official language. And you did the who in the Casacrana, Yentimin co Sucosa, Yentimin me was Brofuna boxing again. Will be a yedi Casafo fortity will be an I said for the Cambrofono. So when you are a Casana Mosa Casa de candidate ona, Munisiano. Was a normal brambit me and be free and mobile.
Yeah.
Because it's part of the identity.
Yes, who say sophisticated na.
Anything to find you know. Yeah, make because you're technical English. Yeah, discussing the topic behind it West and also ye day. Usual. Hey, you know me bromo casa brofo moka. But two teams at way a brofo and technical and intellectual. What did I say? Well, we parliament, you have to speak technical word. If you're speaking, let's say you're talking of finance, there should be technical words.
Yeah.
But you're going to mean you should have technical words because the intellectual depth is not there. And the other now restricted. Even examples, energy now can and to say, I dear about use the system now can be done language. Ye chere wa hana e wo ye language ni mu na na masa output no because minwana ye de brofo hunhuna no na wo no wo ye business no aya keka brofo de kwesi broni example so aba no want me relate na what say me no di ahenkan ka bu o hweye no I was start o to sika sem ye no to boss say say nya fe no ko dream brofo bi mo de ne kasa na ye dey e keka bom and san brofo no the door so mo ye business o ekrom ya ofo be fe nyi mo ye brofo na ye business mboa wo mo abrofo no kwa do no akwa ante wo mo ne kuta sika kase o business man aban bia nso mu woni foreign investor bia and this is a perceive critical prosperity na e kana yentimi kana brofo man nyeye enfa change bia anye dey emma because o mo hia aduane na nkasa mo come dey wo mo no enyi wo mo na ka brofo
Then you British society no on your can tree no. Even there bro for country.
And no paper. And I say some say kasa no so standard.
Yeah.
And it's be the bro for you pay change and as up so cabro. There's difference. The man who so more bro for be change biama. Because they did change there did kunimdie ba. They didn't put to ba no. Any bro for no ya dwen na wo dwen wo tim na dia koye bibi. Then no any kasem.
Adwene so free akomam.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you said part of the mechanisms and as a systems there is etimia sporadic and the brofuna bi kwa na meka wahi. Etimia spread the bebre no.
What's aka brofu di bio.
Ya kasa na ya dia tum no. Say ya kasa na beko. And the yesem na ya kai kasa. And no man be vaze apart from few places there be a kika ka brofu kakra no. Do no be 90% of the eka no. Ya nkasa examples ya de na mu ya ko say chinchinka ekwegwemi so banko more kodo banchi kodo eno ane be ne ye wofa ntumo so ka nipa no ebe ne no nyafe no ko dwimienu otu na ne wo china obetuma ko start abrofo abrante ba ko ye
related to it nti mo related to
that's the environment
and
abrante ba ko wo ye aduma airport wo so person ko ye ye ni ekoye afuo ne yene si den wo simi so we ma hwesa ne wo sende me akoto akodo 8 acres. The pictures are name. Scratch it. So we shall first one go to us Debbie, person me bibi. And then the papa go. Kakra bi na me to. E di entia. Kasa no. Any examples or e man no e normal obi a ti ase enye hu. E relatable. Baby e free no a. And this e ba ha na be catch us for be feel you know you need investors. You need somebody from Wall Street. Venture capital. Wall Street. Na many ya for wa woni mo bia Wall Street. Proposal na work no kra no ntimi twere na ko twere proposal. Ti sai ni pa no uja do ho na.
Yes na yedoso, sa akrofon so na.
Yes na yedoso. Enti e kire se normal na ye kire na omo de go school no. Ene de wo se enkrofo som de ye no. Boy bra.
Na address lo see. Even your court system, you cry. See, above for because of Brofia. Yeah. Oh, to be cry expressing we. So only for na fee at the fort.
Yeah.
And to be a shader. Because you only buy your person deals to know as well, but you know, Casa and Sana, what you're at. We are synchrophobia no homoco many my yet, no Casa and Sana, yatro madia. And into the Ghana near call China, so school, no Cushion language and San what I said. The other buy no. And normal only the China and United the same class. Content or the Bebano. The China and 80%. One of the obeti baby 10% go ya. Okusia and a Chinese na catch and watch an old train munti as you. And they said the men and I book battery be a men number deal. Who can I catch the one say what is cup of tea? Cup of tea no brony can a cup of tea now. A different from me make a cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's different. It makes my can. That's your own cup of tea. My boss my boss time we brought for but really they won't bring any change.
Before Kakabekoro, Indiana Sabbath, you was say, I will believe in Bible and I didn't you teach the sin and white man. Yeah, read the Bible. And another say 80% of Ghanaians are Christians.
Why are they struggling financially?
I say, so almost the same thing. I don't know, almost successful. You know, I was see a Jai Sanya, Miss Yandy. You know, I was see Jai Sanya, can't call.
Yeah, thank you, Legend. Legend from your idea. Now, say, yeah, kind of crap. Systems are native. Systems, they are very native. Yeah, systems are native because if you look at the Chinese is excelling because their system, the infrastructure, everything, process thinking, system thinking, everything native.
Yes.
And part of say a group of people cannot really develop a workable system if it is not tailored around their culture.
Absolutely.
And only one thing. It can never happen if it is outside the context of their culture. And the China for China for no China Mandarin no kwano mukao. They have other local languages. Different regions language.
Yeah.
But then it took one leader no kasi na say yes idea na yen timi en develop. And I was na about majority of us should speak the Mandarin because yen na bit me den aka. Asima mabeke mean for any segregation, but if the system in Ghana, for example, will be a workable system, and we are being honest, it should be tailored around about language and nipa be 80%, which is key.
Yeah.
And that is because Mubash onye obi oketri native onye tree native, but then he's able to express himself in Chuka or Tiasie. And he's able to work with it. Andra seminar na e buy no Mr. D metna se atwen am yewie nipa e boss na ye 100 at the peak of it near 75. But me who say question here, because now drop you about 50. A lot of people were not able to ask questions. A lot of people, I doubt if they even understood. Me brain na no mo pay English ni cry ntimi anye den. Me brain na anye den. Amba say bi so mo bass no mo te chire dia amenye de mini ba. Systems are very native and language is one of the key driving forces. Say mu nyina mo ka bom na mo ka say yusu kasa ba ko a be mama e den akwa, because I the time I say native legend. I was listening to a podcast. Now podcast in Sasimo Akada. The podcast was talking about a group of people mote quote unquote ghetto. Once they get to the gang name sign my name no school no crowd monko. So most of the schools are blonde teachers now or more children crowd there. A lot of the children will complete school, but they cannot read and write. They cannot form complete sentences. Internet was an Marco Square we high school amuntimi formal sentence there, then it's questionable. We did a lot of research. Research. I didn't know and they realized that when you go to their communities, in other sense, when you go to their culture, papa for book kinda. No of a for book and kind. Odi 12 years I saw Johnny Gang. You so can book a taboo. You then they realized that
I saw your Uncle Tom. We Uncle
they
Tom.
realized that culture no. They invented rap music, and the rap people even say rap. Yes, yo, no. Rap was a way of communicating. If people don't know, when you study African history, rap was a way of communicating. It was a specific group of people. I know quantity rap. And now too for something in a it's similar to rap. Yeah, it's similar to rap, but people don't understand those things. And Omuhu say the question was, how do we develop a system that will make them read, write, and form complete sentences? So they realized that the culture of the people was oral, not literal. In two cases, book now, and you continue. Charlie Chaplin, that English comedian, no, the videos, the bus school, no auditorium. Now, you can't say, wow, and then the teacher who is teaching them, no, you don't prevent them from going there into Accra and no bus school no kase auditorium on corner or corner video na jano nonko. The video had subtitles, but omuntimi nkan by video no motion say they so what do? They inherently develop a taste to learn how to read and form sentences on their own. But system of building is who say their culture was oral. Intinobu was here and he passed on the knowledge to you orally. He passed the knowledge to you orally. And so therefore, if most of the time, if you are building a system outside the culture of the people, it makes it very hard for the people to understand. Into legend testimonies now there. I'm 100% sure say a tricas and now use because nipa be the etiase. Now my last question maybe say, why is it that constantly the slave wants to defend the slave master, and then also the slave wants to, break away from slavery, and then they fight each other. They keep fighting each other. We want to break from slavery, that is a system you are in. And then they constantly fight each other, and then they defend the slave master. We can't build a new system.
Over the Stockholm syndrome. And all that, And they want to cry was a call as I know one moment. I never say, what my parents also go to there. Which was soon. They walk all repunos or police for by was one anyway. Or a very good man. It's lovely. Just ya bona brand soon to me or you week into a new hope be as said papa me who and as any part of that and I was sitting in how bit my baby. To join said there be me kwa de na me. Ene ma mentra hasa. Ena na timi ma nipa bibire tra ware ye eku omu. To be so na eku no. Enye da na wote say papa na eku na yire na that was the first time obu no. Obu ne tambia. But waboa bonu hu a wabona ma waye hufuo so ma se onim se wo kwa a ontimi nyina ne nice. Ene no na ato ye nkofo ni bibire no. Ojidi say, I want Dante, so Bruni Amavi Asia.
Obukunu.
Yeah. So, NT7. One more day, Sabi Okwa, the Omo Kukudo Nelco. Omo you for the entry for Monco. So, Bahanas will defend Bruni, will defend the Nesom, will defend the Visa, and yet, can't go for the intimate for Monchich of Africa. Omo ebetimi do ma chechire omo gidi se ye no ye sipini ye nipa e ebetimi akọ anko fo no kakra bi ne ye pew enye de oba ha wo be defending e ho na wakeka na ne na nanom so boso me ko studio na branch ba akọ university ni o the entire African develop here because we are the worshippers na in Japan for most of the day Japan for most of the Would you be trying to be an obesity day? A toy and crow 14 at 18 in Koyan and I'm the German for most of you void free Yame. Yaman vocal 10 million or so. Enti, yay, anybody be a grass and so still you call for the big a entertainer.
I have also a jet who's crazy at the body.
That's right. Entertainer, every American boy, African Americans, right? There was Japanese or Matter America be 200 years or so. Yes. Well, maybe even Chinese never be able to do when you maybe a few China and as a Japan. But here, still more represent our culture to a very large extent. Remember?
Yes.
But what would the African Americans bear professionally from Africa? The entire almost they almost superstars, baby. Almost African Tadi be crowded. So also should be pet, not just imagine a different. Almost more African American culture, which is maybe, but the base of it is African. Jaden Tina Sabi, because you see crowd of money, almost in Kadini Casano be brain, large culture, I didn't come promote. She been grand person, penny and cry. But look at the Chinese. Chinatown, ain't for there.
Chinese.
It is a bit normal. Back to your question, systems. Until you can look at the history, the language, afi finance. Usia sika eye juma wa ha. Enye de obukum free America. The ye juma wo ye man yimu. Usia sika differently. Many direct interview. The first question they hit me, and I'm sure someone was contemplating. What's say? Yeah, business. What's it statistics? Let us say business in good. And I'm the one statistics in the mouth. Was it Bruni? And I say,
I don't know, because I didn't hear me statistics. Yeah, that's the whole moment. I didn't need me. Yes, I don't know. Yeah, no tree who say, I didn't yes, say it, yes, you know. Who's it? Yeah,
professor, I only go on the research, you know. A MasterCard may sponsor. You better not go there. I want to ask you. There are no money in your idea. What you know, friend? So, and you say, and I'm catching the massa. So, what is our glass in the number? And the some fatter. But me drink say yes, you idea. And it's all the castle Bruni, quite fast the business, you know, and also yes, your fast idea. And no more one on the here. To be on a fabo de so ayenko. What they loan a buy, ye nibi. All the computer systems near the Nabagana, ye nibi. A branch any Timmy Chrome. Well, we school anyway, open business also copelo. Why not the man? No do baby, I open break even point. The wow. Break even, I don't know what they are sitting, what they are talking, what they are heading. Break even maybe an every no. Woman is guy. Maybe they are making say Ose so yesua ye de na ye adwuma wa ha. Ye de ko higher level.
Yes.
Ne guys ye di broni achi chinchina no. Basa ye nko. Na even ya buy no cry they say. See I will see regulated business. What mean regulated business we Ghana they say they wa brochiro. O task force ni ade no won't mean any the same. We say monkrofo na mbeka form sa be here wo mo ache. Because broni ne de no se be waso ase ye de obi anso yi. So you have to have a code for them. So mobile hand number yomo there. But the majority of our people, you can't have the same code. We'll be talking about your amount of venture capital money, your amount of partners' money, investors' money, $100 million. What the Bible tried. Oh, I had one more than the one city now started now be 10 million. Oh, so your person which is a Ghana business is now before the end. Now the man business here. Infrastructure that is responsible for the growth. Oh. But surprisingly, Nipa no University of Ghana as a come go university, see the business no bar. You will judge his people down because of the parameters we use. So we are always not enough. We always don't measure up or measure to the standard. What is the standard? The standard is the one that works in the community and produces results, not necessarily.
I don't know fire DNA you want because said you okay big companies Walmart yeah is adding to small ones and also
I don't know also judge who say the I was America for America say Microsoft the value of
10,000
the whole Africa yakayabo what about you.
And that's almost African continent in the crisis is here in the Chopoa. And so here continent in Yakrabikum. Other continents in Yakrabikum.
Yeah. And the enemy yeah. And the Omuka Bibia, Premier, Mem to so some and I school for Ntiasian because we want to tear their mom. When so some family buya so we are young contact. But that day, say I'm called for no Ghana near our post go Wall Street, was some I can want as yet. Yes, a permanent video. A permanent day after so and the